In a peaceful neighborhood on the outskirts of Ibadan, inside a quiet mansion with tall mango trees and rustling breeze, Madam Olufunke Adeyemi stood by her window. Her heart was heavy. Her only son, Tayo, hadn't smiled in months. Tayo used to be full of life, brilliant, athletic, the kind of man mothers prayed for their daughters to marry. But after a tragic car accident, he lost the use of his legs, and worse, his hope. Everyone left, he once whispered, even the one I loved. One night, Madam Funke sat on his bed. I want to do something drastic, she said. I've invited 4 young women to stay here. Just talk to them, please. Tayo turned his face to the wall. This is a joke. But she had already made the arrangements. 2 weeks later, they arrived. Amaka, fair-skinned, flashy, daughter of a senator. Kemi, a Lagos socialite with TV dreams. Toyin, cunning, fashionable, always watching. Ngozi, a quiet girl from Osuka, whose mother sold plantain to survive. She came not out of greed, but need. Funke addressed them in the sitting room. You'll stay 2 weeks. My son is inside. Get to know him, but let your heart lead, not your eyes. That evening, Tayo wheeled into the lounge. His expression was cold. You are all here for the money. Don't pretend, he said. Only Ngozi looked him in the eye and said nothing. From that moment, Tayo made the mansion feel like a prison. He yelled. He rolled past them without a word. He scattered books, broke plates. But Ngozi stayed consistent, humble, helpful, real. Then one morning, Tayo made an announcement. If you wish to stay here, you will join the workers in the backyard farm. No wigs, no phones, no makeup. The others screamed and hissed, but Ngozi quietly stepped forward, removed her slippers and entered the mud. That evening, Funke gathered them again. I had planned to give 10 million naira to the girl who wins Tayo's heart. But now, the prize is 50 million, plus a full business startup. If your love is real. That night, the game changed. Kemi snuck into Tayo's room in a nightgown. He turned her away. Toyin cooked his favorite soup and leaned close. He said, you can't buy me. Amaka cried fake tears. He rolled out of the room in silence. But Ngozi, she just kept being herself. Then came betrayal. Toyin brought wine and a cupcake to Ngozi's room, claiming it was her birthday. Ngozi didn't drink, but Toyin insisted. 1 glass, then 2. As Ngozi giggled from the effect, Toyin pressed record. I came for the money, Ngozi said innocently, for my brother's surgery. Toyin smiled. By morning, she had delivered the clip to Madam Funke. Funke played it for Tayo. Tayo confronted Ngozi in the garden. Did you mean it? Ngozi wept. Yes, I came for the money. But I stayed because I saw you and I cared. Tayo wheeled away in silence. That same day, a new twist. Tayo announced, I lost everything. My business failed. The bank is taking the house. Toyin gasped. Later that night, she called her boyfriend. No more money, but there's gold jewelry in Madam's room. I'm taking it. She packed the gold in her bag and tried to sneak out, but was caught. Madam Funke confronted her. Toyin confessed. I came for the money. What do you expect? Love? For a man in a wheelchair? Then Tayo walked in, on his feet. I was never broke, he said. It was a test. So he fainted in shock. She was thrown out that night, disgraced. Days later, in the same garden, Tayo knelt before Ngozi with a ring. I love you, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. Ngozi wiped her tears and nodded. Yes. He later paid for her brother's surgery, and in 3 months, they were married in a quiet but elegant ceremony in Ibadan. Funke danced with joy, but the story didn't end there. As they stepped into their new life, a shadow lingered. A phone number began calling Tayo, one only Amaka and Toyin once had. And one evening, a letter arrived with no name and a picture of Ngozi. 3 months after the grand wedding in Ibadan, Tayo and Ngozi Adeyemi had settled into a quiet rhythm. The mansion, once filled with chaos and manipulation, now breathed peace. Ngozi's younger brother was recovering steadily in a private hospital in Enugu. Tayo had even arranged for their mother to move into a decent apartment in town. Life was good. But one rainy evening, something strange happened. Ngozi was in the kitchen when Tayo walked in holding a letter. His expression unreadable. Someone dropped this at the gate. He said, no name, just this. He handed her the letter. Inside was a blurry photo of Ngozi at about 19, seated beside a much older man in a dimly lit hotel room. Ngozi's face drained of color. I don't understand, she stammered. Tayo's voice was low. Who is this? Ngozi took a shaky breath. His name is Chief Dike. I never told you about him because it was painful. He used to sponsor girls in school. I was desperate. My brother was even sick then. I made a terrible mistake. Tayo turned away, silent. She reached for him, tears filling her eyes. I was young. I didn't sleep with him, but he made advances. I left and never looked back. Tayo looked back at her. And this picture? I don't know how someone got it. I swear. I swear to you, I never. I was scared and ashamed. That's why I buried it. He exhaled. Why now? The phone rang. Unknown number. Ngozi stared at it, trembling. Tayo answered. A man's voice came through, calm, mocking. Your wife has a past, Mr. Adeyemi. A past that can destroy your name. Click. The next morning, Madam Funke called them into her study. I've received the same letter, same photo, same handwriting. Ngozi couldn't stop crying. I don't know who's doing this, she whispered. Madam Funke's eyes were serious. We need to find out. Meanwhile, in an unknown apartment in Lagos, Toyin, the disgraced house guest, sat with a man in a suit. She smiled darkly as she watched the screen displaying surveillance footage, an image of Ngozi hugging Tayo in the garden. Let's see how long her crown stays on, she said. The man beside her was none other than Chief Dike, now older, grayer, and full of revenge. Back in Ibadan, Tayo hired a private investigator. Within a week, they traced the printed photo to a low-end cyber cafe in Ikeja. CCTV showed a woman with a scarf and sunglasses printing it. The shopkeeper remembered her voice. Very sharp, Igbo accent. Ngozi knew who it was. Toyin, she whispered. Madam Funke clenched her fist. She was expelled from this house. What else does she want? That night, another envelope arrived. Inside was a USB flash drive. They played it. It was a voice recording. She's not who you think she is. Ask her about the night in Aba in 2019. Ngozi dropped the glass in her hand. Her breathing quickened. Tayo stood up slowly. What happened in Aba? Ngozi looked like she was about to faint. The tension in the Adeyemi mansion was thick. The mysterious photo, the voice recording, and the name Aba 2019. They all pointed to a secret Ngozi had buried deep. Tayo sat across from her in the garden. Tell me the truth, Ngozi, he said quietly. What happened in Aba? Ngozi took a deep breath, her voice trembling. In 2019, my brother collapsed again. We had no money. My mother was already sick. I was desperate. She looked into his eyes, so I agreed to attend a private party hosted by Chief Dike. I thought it was just dinner, but he and Tony were behind it. Tayo's brows furrowed. Ngozi continued. I left before things got worse. I ran in the middle of the night, but Tony, she stayed. She became his whatever. I cut off contact. She hated me for that. Tayo leaned back slowly, digesting her words. Why didn't you tell me before? Because I thought I couldn't escape it. I was wrong. Meanwhile, in Lagos, Chief Dike sat in a luxury suite, watching the news. A new scandal was brewing. His name had leaked in connection with illegal dealings and exploitation. Suddenly, his door burst open. EFCC agents marched in. Chief Dike, you are under arrest. We have evidence linking you to multiple criminal cases. Behind them stood Madame Funke, calm and collected. She had used her connections, quietly and powerfully. Back in Ibadan, Tayo walked into the living room where Ngozi was seated alone, staring at the garden. He knelt beside her. You told the truth. You owned your past. That's all I needed. Ngozi burst into tears. I was so scared you'd leave. He held her hand gently. We all have shadows. Yours only proves how bright your heart is. 1 week later, Tony's name appeared in the news. Caught attempting to blackmail a former politician. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Meanwhile, Ngozi and Tayo opened a charity foundation for young girls who needed help with education and medical support. In memory of all Ngozi had overcome. Madame Funke, smiling again, blessed them both. You turned pain into purpose, she said. Under the same garden tree where it all began, Ngozi held a small journal and whispered, Dear God, I came for money, but you gave me healing, truth, and love. Tayo sat beside her, now walking fully without crutches. They looked at the sunset, hand in hand. No more secrets, no more fear, just peace.